she's just a character and a person that I'm very fond of and loving in my heart. So please welcome to the stage Marilyn Pittman. I'm nervous. I'm always nervous. I've been doing this forever. Like when I was a little kid, my parents had little 6-shooters pointed at my feet. Perform! All right. Like free entertainment. But I'm still nervous at this ripe old age. But it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, all of you, for having me all these years. I really feel honored and blessed. This has been a great workout for me. I'm an actor and a comedian. And it's been a great way to not do them off, which sucks. And, oh, good. I mean, really, okay, I work in public radio. I teach people how to talk at public radio stations. Because I didn't get rich and famous as an openly gay stand-up comic, which is why I'm here talking to you. So you're fucking welcome. You go fuck yourselves. And that's what I'm here to talk about tonight. Not how you should go fuck yourselves. But I changed my story. I was going to do something completely different, and I just switched gears. I was outside and I was pacing around. And I was getting all nervous, and I was just like, "What are you doing? Like you're totally acting like you're a novice. You know you're a pro. Just go out there and just tell a new story and take a risk, and not know the script. You know, as an actor, you want to know the script. What are my lines? I'm always over-performing, not performing, but over-preparing because I'm a perfectionist. So I was walking around the street and I was like, you know what? Just go up there and tell them what happened. So this is what happened. I'm going to tell you about what it was like to be an openly gay stand-up comic, one of the first openly gay stand-up comics in the history of the world, starting in 1987. Nobody knows this story, and it shocks me. I teach at the journalism school at Berkeley. And my students always say, well, you know, you couldn't be out back then. You know, during the comedy heyday, you know, the Mecca thing in the 80s with everybody and Robin and Dana and Paula Poundstone, that closet case, and you couldn't be out. And everyone was like, but yeah, but not in San Francisco. I'm like, no, in San Francisco. And I go, like, no, you can be out in San Francisco. I'm like, but they're like, but not in San Francisco. I'm like, no, in San Francisco. And people cannot believe it. And I bet there's many of you that can't believe that you could not be out during the comedy heyday that made everybody rich and famous out of San Francisco, and you couldn't be out. And no one believes me. So I'm here as a witness on this earth to say, yes, let me tell you some stories about how it went. So you couldn't be out. Ellen was in the closet. We all knew she was gay. I mean, one of my girlfriends at the time, you know, used to hang out with her in New Orleans, and her and her brother Vance DeGeneres, you know, who did the Mr. Bill thing on Saturday Night Live. And so she knew she was gay. She knew her girlfriend. And so we knew she was gay. And then there was Paula Poundstone, who was just oddly not gay, but gay. So then she took to drinking to cover that up and mitigate that. So how judgmental is that? Fuck off. And so there was like that cadre of small, I was not the first out gay comic. There was Tom Amiano and Marga Gomez and Leah Delaria from Orange is the New Black, and Doug Holsclaw, who you'll never know about, and Danny Williams, who's dead, who you'll never know about, and Karen Williams, who's still working. There's all of these people who started at the Valencia Rose, which is now a bicycle shop on Valencia. They're across from the chapel. This is 85, 84 maybe. And I got here in 85, and I found these people, and there was the first gay stand-up. You know, gays didn't have stand-up. We had drag shows. That's all we had. That's what we knew in our little, you know, ghettoized community. And then there was stand-up that Tom and Margaret and all these gangs started, and then there was no venue, because you couldn't. So I got here in 86. I actually tried in 86. I went to the Other Cafe, which is at Cole and Carl. Those days, it's a cafe now with the windows. And so the stage was, the back of the stage was all the Muni trains going by, right? And it's still like that. It's still open there. And so you have comics just get up and just do improv and crowd work and, you know, make fun of the fact that the trains were going by. And people would look in, and it was a fabulous venue. And I tried that on Monday nights. You could get up there and do an open mic. And I tried that, but I didn't have any gay material. I decided to de-gay myself in some way. And so I tried to write jokes that weren't gay, and I wasn't funny. So there's a part of me that thinks I was just so brave. But part of me just wasn't funny when I wasn't being honest about who I was. And my jokes aren't like Ellen's in those days. My jokes are about the women that are driving me crazy. Because it's, you know, that's what I work with, my life. Which is usually focused on some woman who's driving me crazy. And it's usually all my fault. Having a private moment, fuck off. That's really funny, actually. That's really funny. My wife of 19 fucking long years. Oh, you straight people. You're so full of shit. I'm 19. Oh, that's so great. You don't know. You don't know how miserable we are. You don't know the last fight we had and how ugly it was. You don't know. But every like these straight people like, they're together. You're so full of shit. And now we have to be gay married. You're such assholes. You have just ruined it for us. Sex is nice. Well, we're married, so I guess we don't have a lot of sex as when we were just lovers. I digress. I'll get back to the point. Ready? Okay, so we had shit like, do you know the Bay Brick Inn? No. You know why I know the Bay Brick Inn? Because it's called the Cat Club, I think. Do you know a Cat Club at 8th and Folsom? Yeah. Okay, that was a lesbian bar and hotel in the 80s. I had a hot affair with a flight attendant in that hotel. Some American Airlines lady based in Stamford, Connecticut. You know, it was like a place for lesbians to bang. It was fun. And, well, not all lesbians are awful. And just most of them. The ones my age are just the worst. Sour, dour, judgmental. They don't, not good social skills. We've all been waiting for somebody to make fun of the lesbians, haven't we? And why shouldn't it be me? And so, but that place, you had a comedy room every Wednesday night. You had a comedy room there. You got $50. You got up and you did jokes. That started in '87. In the back, there was dancing. But it was the first, like, gay comedy venue, really. Then El Rio. Y'all know El Rio here in the Mission, right here. Right? Right over there. El Rio, that had Wednesday night gay comedy. That had a room, that side room back in the back off the patio. That was a gay comedy room every Wednesday night. 87 on. All through. And then finally, 91... Josie's opened, which is the Starbelly restaurant, the Castro. What am I, a tour guide? What are we on some sort of stationary bus or trailer? What are we? What the fuck is this? And then, back in the history of the old people. Jesus Christ. I'm taking the risk. Here I am. And then that was awesome, 91. Well, by that time, you know, the AIDS, people were dying of AIDS all the time, you know, since I moved here in '85. People were just dying on the street in the Castro. We didn't have a homeless problem. We had men laying on the street in front of the Castro Theater with lesions laying there asking for money. We had men dying on the streets. Every week you looked in the gay paper, BAR, Bay Area Reporter, and you said, well, who's died this week? And you look at the obits and like 20 a week. And this is what we lived through from '85. And it's 91, and the comedy explosion has happened, and everyone's gotten rich and famous, except if you were out, you couldn't be out, you couldn't get booked. Because the promoters, people in comedy, first of all, they didn't think black people were funny. They didn't want to put them in, and then that all shifted. And they certainly didn't want fags on stage and dykes on stage because they were afraid, it was like with blacks, they would alienate the audience, that they wouldn't show up. It was financial. It was like worried that they would alienate people. I mean, this is, you know, this was the truth. And it probably would. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really care about those fucking assholes. So, so we didn't have a place to perform. We had little places that we would do it, and meanwhile everyone was taking off, and Ellen was still in the closet, and whatever. And then we had finally our venue, 7 nights a week, gay entertainment, but theater, not drag shows. Lip synca, stand up every Saturday night, 3 comics every Saturday night. And I cut my teeth there. I had started, and I started getting really good, and then I went on the national circuit. I did all this. Well, during that time in 91, 92, 93, my friend Scott Capurro, who was an actor with me in the first play about the names quilt in '88 that we took to DC and read names on the ellipse, and Reagan wouldn't say the word AIDS. Well, Scott, I said, man, you got to get out of acting. You got to wait for other people to talk. It sucks. So you got to do comedy, because then you get just on the stage. So Scott got into comedy, And then Scott started becoming like the first out like comic, and he was working in Tommy T's in San Ramon. And this is still during AIDS, 92, 93. Scott goes out there and he's doing his gay fag thing, and there's a drunk woman and she's, "Ah, give me that AIDS shit." And he threw a drink in her face and had to be escorted out by the sheriff. So this is the kind of shit we were dealing with. Act up. There was shit going on here, you know, in this city and in the surrounding areas. Don't leave the city. And we all went through a lot, you know. We went down to LA and we performed for Bud Friedman, Evening at the Improv. Boy, if you could get on Evening at the Improv back in the early 90s, man, you got national TV, then you could start working. And we went down there together, and the guy sat and gave me notes and said, "Well, if you either just be in the closet like Ellen, or if you could just, otherwise if you want to be out, then you'll be a statement comic." And then like you couldn't, if you were out, then it was all about you being gay. It wasn't like you could be gay in 93 on stage and be nuanced like it is now. Be an interesting person who happens to be gay. So I'm just here to give you a little history about that. And we went through a lot. And then, you know, finally in 97, Ellen came out. And she made history. She changed everything. She changed consciousness. It was awesome. I got nothing against her for that. It was hard all those other years, but that was awesome. She's brave that way. And then in 99, it took till 1999 for this city, San Francisco, to feature an openly gay comic in one of the big comedy clubs at the Punchline, and it was Scott Capurro. So finally, and it had to be a guy, because, you know, I don't know. It's a very male-dominated profession. So I just wanted to come and report that to you and tell you, you know, that this is the history of where you are. When you walk down Valencia Street and you go to the Elbow Room, that was a lesbian bar. We used to do leather and lace fashion shows where we would do, like, dykes would come out with dildos on, strapped on, and women would come out with leather and lace. I would MC these things back in the 80s. I mean, these are the kinds of, that whole corridor of Valencia was all lesbian. What's the other place? Beretta? That was a crunchy granola health food lesbian cafe where we used to do stand-up. So when you're having dinner at Starbelly, just think about us lesbians up there. I don't know what my jokes were then. I was still telling the same stupid jokes probably about dildos and penises and stuff, which the lesbians hated me for. But then I hate them, so it's pretty even right now, I think. Anyway, that's my story. I want to share that with you. Thank you for listening.